Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm talking about the Brother printer where it's constantly asking and saying no toner. We're talking about the Mfc-L3750cdw. This is the message you're getting on the screen where it's telling you you've got no toner, despite it's saying that all the toners are full. This video covers this style of printer, and the model numbers are the 3750, the DCP L3510cdw. Because yours doesn't have a full color screen, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to work out which toner is the bad toner, as the machine doesn't tell you. We'll follow this up a little bit later in the video as to how you find out which toner is bad on this one. The next model it also covers is the Mfc-L3770cdw and the Mfc-L3745cdw. The printer-only version, the HL-L3230cdw, the HL-L3290cdw, the HL-L3270cdw, the HL-L3210cdw, and the Mfc-L3710cdw. Okay, so this is your printer. It's saying on the screen no toner. Click on that and that's the message that you're getting. So all you have to do is hit the red X here and you're presented with this. You've got full toners or half full toners or near empty toners, depending on what your machine has got. If you click on the toners and then you go up to the toner level, toner life, you're presented with all the toners are great, they're all full, ready to go. Hit the red X, home button, then the red X, but the machine still says no toner. So what's going on? The machine doesn't tell you straight away which toner is the faulty toner. You have to hit the tools icon down here, and then up here in this gauge up here it tells us that we have a full red cartridge, but the machine doesn't like the red cartridge. So what's going on? If we go to the cartridge and pull it out, it reveals that we're using non-genuine toner cartridges. So you won't get this problem if you are using a genuine Brother toner cartridge. Genuine Brother toner cartridges come with genuine Brother toner chips. So the machine has detected that you're using non-genuine cartridges and it doesn't like the cartridge. Now the chips over here, they are spring loaded. So if we undo this, you can see on this variety of non-genuine cartridge and the genuine cartridge, this is the chip here and it is spring loaded like so. So if your cartridge is not being recognized, check that the base part of this chip is still there. It is clipped in and there is a heavy gauge spring that runs up the middle to provide this spring action. So the cartridge sits in the cartridge like so. It then drops in and the chip mates to the body over here. So the first thing you need to do is make sure it is mating in here properly, and then close the lid and see if the cartridge gets recognized. No, the cartridge doesn't get recognized. The next step, this chip will get flagged as being no good if the quality of the toner delivery on the delivery roller here is poor. So in this case, this cartridge looks like this. So we can see that in this case, this is not a full cartridge. This is more than likely a toner cartridge that the customer that I'm looking after so the customer who owns this printer, so we know looking at these toner levels here that the customer has got in the habit of resetting the toner and trying to reuse this toner over and over and over again. So what the machine does is periodically, when you send it a print job, it prints onto the transfer belt here, down here, this black belt, a little pattern. It prints a yellow, a red, a blue and a black pattern, and that pattern gets read by the sensor which is up in here. So there's a little stripy pattern that gets printed. If the pattern that gets printed by the printer is not uniform and not of the same strength on each color, so in this case the cartridge is all stripy along here, so it means the pattern that it prints on that belt will be stripy as well. So the machine then reads that pattern. It sees that the cartridge is printing very, very poorly, so it flags that cartridge as being bad. The serial number on this chip is recorded, and now the printer will reject this cartridge and it will say that it's no good. The printer will also detect if the chip is non-genuine, and it will lock and disable the cartridge from being used. Well, it won't disable the cartridge, but it will disable the chip from being used as well. So, how do we fix this? For this particular customer, he needs to replace this red cartridge. That will solve his problem. You get a new red cartridge, new, nice, uniform, even toner across the toner delivery roller, new chip, the problem will be solved. So, what happens in your case if you have actual brand new toners and you're still getting the message that the cartridge is bad? Well, all aftermarket chips on these printers, all aftermarket chips, so this is the chip, all aftermarket chips have, you can slide the chip out, you can work out which way it slides. I think it slides out this way. Now the chip only goes in one way. You have this gold tongue down here at the back. Some people can get away hang on, I'll grab some pliers. Okay, so this is the aftermarket chip. On every single one of these chips is a battery. It's a little button cell. So on some of these cartridges, some people have been able to get away with simply replacing this battery. 90% of you won't get away with simply changing this battery because the serial number that's on the chip is recorded. So what you can do is, my advice is, you never throw away your empty toner cartridges. In particular, when you buy the printer brand new from the store, the first set of cartridges that come with it, which are obviously genuine cartridges, the chip on a genuine cartridge is reusable over and over and over and over and over again. So if you take the chip from the genuine cartridge, you place it on your non-genuine cartridge, the cartridge will never be picked up as being non-genuine, and the cartridge will always work. So you can carry the genuine chip that came with your printer for the remainder of the life of the printer, and you won't be experiencing this problem with your printer unless it has a mating issue with the reader over here. Okay, so you've got a dud chip. The chip's no longer being recognized by the printer. If your delivery roller looks like this one on this machine, there is a video on my channel. So go to my YouTube channel. We're obviously on it because you're watching this video. Click on the link down here where it says Terry Jones Printer Repairs. Go to the main page, look at all the videos we've got loaded. And the video that you're looking for is the one with Donald Trump used as the test subject. So this is the video you need to go watch. It's Improve Color Laser Prints. And here we have the Orange Man himself looking particularly black and white. And after we fix the cartridge, that's how the prints look, all nice and orange again. So if your toner delivery roller looks like this, you have to perform the repair that's in that video before you can move on to solving the issue with the chip. Or you have to replace the toner cartridge with a new toner cartridge. You don't need to do it if your toner delivery roller looks like this. This is a perfectly good functioning new cartridge. That's what the toner spread looks like on a good cartridge. Okay, so if you've gone and done repairing the cartridge, we then move on to the chip. So do not chuck out any empty cartridges. Always keep your empty cartridges for this printer. You have to do it to solve this problem. So why does the chip fail? The chip fails either because of the toner quality issue. It also fails because the battery on this chip goes dead. Now you can push this battery out and replace this battery. Try that first. It may work. If it doesn't work, you need to find an old chip off an old cartridge or a new chip off a new cartridge that you can reuse later on. So this printer must be turned on. It must be plugged in and turned on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you are one of these people that is in the habit of, well, I like to save money on electricity, So I unplug my printer, or I turn my printer off to save electricity. What happens is, with the chips engaged in the chip reader, with the printer turned off, this battery that's on this chip is now in a state of discharge. It's losing power. Why? Because this printer is turned off and the chip is engaged. If you are one of these people that likes to save on electricity, or you live in an area where you're constantly losing electricity and power, you need to remove the toner cartridges and put them in a box and put them back in the printer when you want to use them. So a lot of my customers have developed the habit, they turn the printer off when they're not using it. It only takes about 3 to 4 days of the printer being turned off at the switch or the wall for this battery to go dead, and then the cartridge is ruined. You can't use it. As long as the printer is turned on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the battery's not going dead and the cartridges will continue to work. If you're using genuine chips, there are no batteries on the genuine chips, so you will never get this problem. So, now the chip. So what we can do is, if you've got your chip being recognized as bad, we pull the cartridge out. Do not get any direct sunlight in here. Direct sunlight on these drums ruins them instantly, as these are photoconductors. They react with light. So when you've got the cover of the printer open, make sure no direct sunlight is getting in. Okay, so we've got our cartridge with the bad toner delivery. We've got our cartridge with our good toner delivery and good chip. If it is a genuine chip, transfer it before you put your replacement cartridge in the printer, because you want to carry your genuine brother chip over for the remainder of the printer's life. So to change the chip, it's simply a matter of getting a Phillips head screwdriver, putting it in the screw that's here, and we're undoing the cover. And then the clip simply comes out like so. So you have the chip. This is the chip. It's spring loaded. You can see the spring inside there. Now you can lose this bottom bit in shipping, and the spring as well, which means the chip won't push up. So you need to go and find the bottom bit if you've lost the bottom bit on your chip. And the cover. Now, some aftermarket cartridges, the aftermarket manufacturer is deliberately changing the mold. So if we have a look at this brand of cartridge, it's very popular in Australia. They've changed the mold over here. If you've got this type of cartridge, you can only replace it with a chip from the same type of cartridge. You can't put the genuine chip on this aftermarket cartridge. You can't even put a chip from another non-genuine on this type of cartridge. The manufacturer's done it deliberately, so if the chip gets recognized as non-genuine or the battery on it fails, you've simply got to just throw the cartridge away and get another cartridge. I think that's particularly mean of this aftermarket cartridge manufacturer. I know where they're coming from. They're coming from a company on the Gold Coast in Brisbane. I'm not going to name them, but yeah, it's pretty poor if you've bought these cartridges. My advice is not to buy them again, because the chip's non-replaceable. You can pull it off, but you can't make the aftermarket unit fit. So back onto this one, we now get our genuine chip. Now you only want to change the chip. You want to keep the cover matching. So we're going to use this cover on this one. We're going to grab the good chip from this. Sorry, that's the bad chip. This is the good chip. And then we stick that in there. We get that cover. Much easier with two hands, of course. And there's more customers. And we stick that in like so. So we've now got a good chip in that cartridge. I'll put the screw back in. Now I'll just fix this cartridge off camera. Alright, so through the power of the pause button, I've now fixed this cartridge so it's now delivering an even toner spread, just as the genuine brother toner is delivering an even toner spread. So quality's good, the chip's been replaced. We'll chuck it in the printer. Oops. Make sure the chip is mating. And straight away the chip has been recognized as being a different serial number, so the cartridge hasn't been flagged as being bad yet. And that's pretty much it. So we'll now just do a test print. So we push the toner levels, then we hit test print. Yes, we want to print a test print, and we'll see what comes out of this printer. Now, if you haven't repaired that toner delivery roller and the delivery is poor, in this startup sequence the machine has done a color check and the chip may be flagged as bad again, and then you have to repeat the process all over again. So yeah, so this customer's cartridges are pretty poor. So we can see the black there is no good. If you've got a bad black cartridge, sure, you get the black up here, but you also get this repeat down here where there is an echo of what's happened previously, but it's a negative echo. So, oh, of course it's one of these cartridges. There's another poor cartridge that's available in Australia. So we need to fix the surface of that roller on that black. Yeah, so that's it for this video. While you're in here, if your print heads, the LED print heads look like this, where you've got toner all over them, take a damp chucks, not wet, just damp, and wipe it along the print head like so. And yeah, so that's it for this video. That's how to get your chips working again and how to get the chips to work reliably. Also, if you're in the habit of turning your printer off, remove the cartridges from the printer when you're not using them. Put them in a box in the dark, or take a piece of paper, tear a piece of paper off, release the chip and put the piece of paper in there like that. That just ensures that the chip doesn't get contact with the body of the printer, and that stops the battery on your chip from going dead when you're not using the printer. So you can turn your printer off when you're not using it. Just make sure you put this piece of paper on all 4 chips, and that stops the battery on your chip from discharging and means you get to use your cartridges next time. What you do have to remember though is before you turn your printer back on, you have to open it, remove the paper, engage the chip, close the lid, and then plug the printer back in or turn it on back on here. Yeah, customers will typically learn this the hard way, where the chips will be killed off because they've turned the printer off and they've left the printer off for up to a week. So if you're putting the printer in storage and you're not going to use the printer for a while because you're packing up your home and the printer's going into a storage shed somewhere, make sure you put this piece of paper between the chip and the chip body, and then the printer's good to go to be put into storage. So yeah, that's it for today. If this has helped you out and you want to contribute to my channel to enable me to keep making videos about this, the tip link is in the description of the video below. Just simply follow the tip link, and any amount that you want to send me is greatly appreciated. For the rest of you, if you're local to the Brisbane or the Gold Coast area and this has happened to your printer and you need help, you can phone me, follow the go to the main channel description, and my contact phone number is in there where you can ring me up and I will come out, bring you some toners, and we'll fix your problem up for you. Or just bring some chips with us and we'll fix your problem for you. Yep, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching. More videos to come on fixing your printer, some interesting, some not so interesting, and the occasional music video that I like to polish up and bring back to the best found on YouTube. So thanks for watching.